What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here back with another action figure review. And as you guys can see today, we're going to be taking a look at the Great Toys 1/10 scale Ichigo Kurosaki. And I had to make sure to specify that so that you guys know this is not Dasin model. This is Great Toys, and this figure is 1/10 scale. Now, I do know everyone's been asking about a good solid Ichigo figure. I honestly just found out about this a week ago, and now I have it in hand. So I'm pretty stoked. Let's go ahead and take a look at this very sexy packaging so we can bust this guy open and see what the figure's all about. Now, even though it's a very simple look, we do have quite a bit going on right here. As you guys can see, we've got Ichigo's kimono looking dope. At the top, you just got these lines right here. I don't know what that is. Nothing much going on at the bottom except for all the legal stuff, which I don't know how it's legal because it was made in China. Nothing on this side at all. On this side, that says something. I don't know what. Then, of course, on the back, you have the back of his kimono, and it just says Bleach right there. And then, if you bring it back to the front, this is something I really like. You can actually open this up, as you guys can see, and then you have the figure inside of the window. And my, does this look beautiful. I really just like stuff like this. So I had to show it off. Now let's go ahead and bust this guy out because I know you guys want to see it. Now I'm not even going to front or hold anything back. Straight out of the packaging, man. This is something that I feel like a lot of people are really going to be happy with. Depending on if the scaling of it doesn't bother you, because I will say from the jump, this guy is very tall. But that being said, Ichigo is a very tall character in the show. Tall, lanky character to be exact. So you could wedge him in with some of your other figures in your collection. Now, I'll get into that once we get to talking about the size comparisons. But as far as the looks on this thing go, man, they did a great job with that face. I am very impressed. I don't know anything about Great Toys. I don't know anything else that they've made, but this face sculpt looks really good. I mean, it's Ichigo to the T. It's Ichigo. I really love how they have this floating piece right here for, I think this is what holds on to his sword. But what's cool is it's not like flopping all over the place. Even though it does move, you can position it somewhere and it'll sit. That's something I really appreciate. I love that. And it's just made out of a soft plastic. Also, the fabric in the clothing, oh my goodness, man, this is so dope. And it doesn't really hinder movement either, which I'll get into in articulation, but the fabric is just really good. As you guys can see, the arms are real skinny, but he's double jointed, which once again, I'll get into that in articulation, but movement is there. As you guys can see, he can, man, this is so awesome. This, I don't want to get into the movement and everything because it's articulation, but I'm just kind of showing off the figure, and it's just something I feel like I have to show. But even down to the feet, like, this is a bootleg company, and they do the feet better than Naruto Tamashii Nations, and I'm not going to get into that. But then again, these aren't sculpted feet. He's got socks on, but the sandals just look really good. Even at the bottom, you can see that they added the texturing for the bottom of the sandals. Like, man, this is so dope. And another thing, I don't know if it's my lighting or if there's actually shading in the hair. It looks like there's shading. Matter of fact, I know there is. There's very subtle shading in there. And it just, man, this guy is dope. Oh, man. I'm way more impressed with this than I thought I was going to be. And I will tell you guys, I haven't seen Bleach in a long time. So I'm not going to go into details about the series or anything because my only experience with it was Adult Swim and they kept screwing me over on watching episodes. So don't expect me to get too in detail, but in terms of just looking at the figure, this thing's a 10 out of 10. Just in terms of looks, this is great. Now, for the height on Ichigo, as you guys can see, he is right to the top of his forehead, about 6.5 inches to the top of his hair. He's right at 7 inches. So this guy is very tall. Once again, I will show some size comparisons later so you guys can see how he fits in scale with some other figures, but don't expect it to be perfect. Now, for what I know everyone wants to see, the articulation. He looks up that much, which is definitely good enough. It works for flight poses. He looks down about that much. You do get a whole lot of range out of the neck, so you can get a pretty good amount of tilt for expression. He doesn't look down very much, unfortunately. Now, as far as his arms go, they go up and out very, very well. I'm happy with that. And there's not a lot of hindrance with the kimono either. He doesn't, I'm not sure. I don't think he has a butterfly joint, but you can move the arms in very, very well, as you guys can see. Won't be a problem for him to hold his sword with both hands. He does for sure have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. His hands are on a ball peg, and I really like how they did this. These hands are like kind of soft, and the ball peg is really thick. But with the soft hands, it doesn't really stress the ball peg when you put them on. So I'm cool with that. It really makes it seem like this figure will hold up for a while. Now, as far as torso, I believe there's a diaphragm joint in there, but it is not very effective. Most of it comes at the waist. Now, he doesn't crunch forward much at all or go back too much. I really wish he could do a little bit more, but as you guys can see, you do get waist turn for sure. It's just not a whole lot of movement in there. Actually, I think I just needed to play with it a bit because now he's already moving forward more than he was. He doesn't go back much, but he does go forward, and you do get a turn at the diaphragm. So I was wrong. And at the waist, you can turn a little bit, but I feel like that's where the fabrics meet, so you don't want to turn him at the waist too much. And as far as kicking forward, leg goes out that much. That's a very, very good amount. Goes back about that much. Still really good. And he can do the splits, no problem. He does have a built-in thigh swivel. He does have double jointed knees. As you guys can see, he can bring his leg all the way back. That's dope. And through the pockets, you can actually see like skin right there, which you can hide that. You just have to push this piece right here down. But even at the foot, let's see. That's dope. You can see the sock right there. His foot goes down about that much, up about that much. He does get a little bit of ankle rocker, but you kind of have to play with it. But it is there. And he does not have a toe hinge. I didn't even notice that at first. But everything else is there. What really would have topped this guy off is a toe hinge. But for the most part, you're going to be able to get him in whatever poses you want to. So articulation, definitely passable. I'll give him an 8 out of 10 for that. Now for accessories, first off, we get a default face and a pair of fist hands, which are always necessary with every action figure. Now, two faces actually look almost identical to the default expression. As you guys can see, we do have these right here, which this one's more of a smirk, so I'm fine with this. But this one just looks like another angry face where he's kind of looking to the left a bit. I don't know. I feel like they should have just given us something different for this one. But, I mean, they threw it in. It is what it is. Now, you do get a teeth-gritted face, which this one is probably my favorite out of all of them, because the next one I'm about to show you guys, I do not like. That is the hollow mask. This just feels very, very cheap. Feels almost like they used a very cheap plastic. They painted over it, and I'm pretty sure this paint is going to chip off. Matter of fact, I'm 100% sure it's going to chip off, because if you look at the bottom right here, it's already faded just a bit. Then you look at the back and you see red paint on there. So this piece just feels super duper cheap. And also the way that they painted the teeth, like it, I don't know. This is just ugly. Now I understand this is a cheap figure, so I'm not going to harp on this, but I do just want to say, I know some people are really looking forward to the hollow mask just because they want to take shots with this, but this is probably the worst accessory he comes with, just being real with you. Now as far as hands go, you do get a pair of sword holding hands for both hands. You get a pair of stylish posing hands, which I always love variety. And then lastly, you do get a pair of relaxed or hollow mask holding hands, whichever you want to use them for. So as far as that goes, I think they did well enough on the hands. Now lastly, you do get his weapon, which this is a very cool look. The only thing I don't like is how they did this. I wish they would have just wrapped it all together as one piece, maybe glued it down to keep it from coming up, and then added this at the end versus sculpting all of this, painting it to where it looks a little dirty, and then just kind of throwing this on at the end. Now, I'm sure you can cut this off if you want to, but then it doesn't look like it does in the anime. So, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about this. The weapon looks great. It's just this piece right here. I don't know how I feel about it. I really wish they would have given him his katana, but still, this looks really dope. I'm glad that they added it, but that's pretty much all you get as far as accessories go. I wish they would have gave him a yelling face instead of basically another face like the default. Like, I don't know why they did that. A yelling face would have worked perfectly. Now, the last thing you get is this base, which is really cool that they added. It's a very soft plastic, but it resembles a wooden floor, which I'm cool with. I definitely dig this. And it also comes with 2 stands to where you can hold up the figure. And I will say these are very tight, very sturdy. And so they don't feel like the typical stands that you get whenever you buy a bootleg figure. It doesn't feel like it's going to break. It feels like it'll hold the figure. And I think these things can actually hold quite a bit of weight as well. So it's cool that they included this. I'm probably never going to use it, but hey, it's always cool to have. Now, for the next part I know everyone's been waiting on, these size comparisons. Here he is standing next to an SH Figuarts Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku, the Revoltech My Hero Academia Deku, and the SH Figuarts Best Selection Naruto. I feel like he looks fine with Deku and Naruto, but I don't know about Goku. Doesn't really bother me because, once again, Ichigo's a very tall character, but I don't see a lot of people being happy with this in case you guys want to get your Jump Force or J-Stars on. Next up, here he is standing next to the Mafex, The Dark Knight Returns, Old Man Batman, the Marvel Legends Retro Wave Spider-Man, and of course, the Mezco KG Beast. Now for this last one, I repositioned my camera a bit just so you guys can get a further grasp of how tall this figure actually is. Here he is standing next to the My Hero Academia McFarlane Toys Shoto Todoroki, who he's indeed taller than, the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z Super Buu, and the Marvel Legends Pitiful Prowler. So I'm not even going to front with you guys. I actually really do love this figure. And that's coming from someone who is not the biggest fan of Bleach, nor am I anywhere near completing it. I probably never will, with the way that they aired this show on TV and how thrown off I got while trying to watch it. But that being said, I know how much people have been begging companies like Tamashii Nations and even Figma to make a 1/12 scale Ichigo. Now, granted, this figure is not 1/12, but there's a possibility this is going to be the only thing that we get. This is probably going to be the closest thing we get to a 1/12 scale Ichigo. As much as I hate to say that, I think that's just where it is. At this point, with Bleach being over, I don't see the creator putting out anything promotional or anything that has to do with expanding the series. This might be the last opportunity. Now, I will say I feel like this is a figure that is going to sell out. So if you're on the fence, at least pick it up just to try and see if it might work for you. Now, if you just want to stand him side by side with Goku and build your Jump Force team or J-Stars Victory Versus, he's not going to work. But I will say, get your hands on him first before you make that decision, because you're probably going to like this guy a whole lot more than you think you are. Scaling isn't always everything as long as you can wedge it. And this guy will definitely look good in photos with Goku, with Naruto, with Deku, as long as you don't have them just standing side by side. So anyway, that's my review. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content. Also, follow me on Twitch. I stream every Wednesday and Saturday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We can talk action figures, we can talk anime, or we can just have some fun and chit-chat. But yeah, make sure to follow me on Twitch. Everything is in the description below. I do hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe and peace.